Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to another Ashakuteri session. My name is Osaz and I welcome you all again. Thank you for making it another Saturday evening with us. I know you could have been partying somewhere at Ilashe, but you are here to talk about design and we're so glad to have you here. So at this point, I'm currently accepting many people out. Can I make someone else host? Like with let me just see if I can make someone else like a co-admin before I go on. If you get made an admin, please don't be afraid. Just help us. Thank you. Uh yeah. So you can allow other people in. Okay, yeah. So today we are looking at like Web3. Web3, we've been talking about Web3 for a while, and then we're continuing that conversation today with our only John. And I'm just gonna allow John introduce himself. But before we go on, I would just like to ask you all to share the links with your friends, people that you know will find this valuable, and just send the link, let them join us here before we get started. Also, we have some rules of engagement. Keep your videos off at all times and your mics off as well until or unless you're asked to unmute yourself and speak. That's when you're asking questions. So we tend to leave the questions until after the session. It helps us with editing the videos as well. So you know that we post this on YouTube after a while. So if we have the questions at the end, it's just much easier to edit. Or also, yeah. Sorry, I blanked out for a while. So yeah, I'm just gonna allow John to get started. Please, hi John, how you doing today?
I'm quite tired, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that. As you said, I'm really glad you guys are here to join me, or you guys are sharing your evening with me. You could have been doing every other thing, but you chose to be with me this evening, and that's very amazing. So um, let's just get started. So first thing first, introduction. Let's go. All right. So my name is John Wright Singifa. I am an AR VR developer. I build AR VR experiences and products. Then an individual contributor. So I contribute to different projects. Doesn't have to be just AR VR. It depends, like it's design, engineering, or business. And I currently work as a product designer in the blockchain space. Right. I've been in blockchain for like 7 months now. I think February, 7 months now. And before then, I was in the AR/VR space, which I'm still in. But like before then, I was basically doing product design, mostly in terms of UI design, right? So now I'm in blockchain, and it looks like I'll be here for a long time. So the topic we have today is called product thinking in Web3. And I know most people have read about Web3, and it sounds like it's the utopia of everything, that is the future of that. Web2 has problems, like Web3 is here to solve every problem that Web2 currently are. But the case is that I think I believe we should treat Web3 as a different entity from Web2, right? Because they're two different technologies, right? Because how Web2, you don't compare Web2 with Web1, right? Because they are two different things, and Web1 was created for a specific problem, is a solution to a specific problem. Web2 is a solution to a specific problem, and Web3 is also a solution to a new problem that we are obviously facing at this point. So before we go into product thinking, I know most people don't know much about product thinking, and the closest thing they know about thinking in design is mostly design thinking, right? And design thinking is mostly focused on the features, like how might we make this better, right? How would it feel to use this product? How does this product work, right? And that's basically what design thinking is like using some processes to find out all these answers, right? While product thinking is mostly thinking about the idea or this problem as a whole and finding a solution to the problem space. So you identify the problems and you think about an idea to solve that problem, right? So it focuses on product as a whole, like holistically, right? And not just the features, right? And design thinking and product thinking work hand in hand if you are trying to build a sustainable product, right? But what is a product, right? So a product um, is the combination of user needs and business needs, right? So businesses need to make money, revenue. Users, they need solutions to their problems, right? And you need something to power this thing, and that's the technology, right? So um, how product thinking comes into this space is by creating a seamless connection between the users, technology, and business, right? And taking a look at it from afar and treating it as one entity, right? And actually creating a win-win situation for each of these areas. Yeah. So we understand what product thinking is in Web 2, right? But I will still give an example, right? So Shazam is my favorite product. And it's my favorite product because I grew up listening to music, right? My life is basically music. I also create beats and I used to DJ, right? And I started listening to music through like radio, right? Like every day after church, I always wait for like 12 p.m. to listen to weekdays. Like it has this top 40s countdown whereby they play like different new music, you know. So anytime I listen to the music, it's amazing. Like I'm like, who sang this, you know? But I couldn't find out like who the artist was, right? So I just moved past it. Yeah. Then I found out about Shazam, whereby you just open your Shazam, tap the S button, and it identifies the song, and it also gives you more songs from the artist, right? So the problem statement in this case, or the problem space in this case was identifying songs, right? Because even though you have like a lot of friends, you still don't know the songs in the world, right? So they helped me solve this problem through thinking about a solution for my problem, you know, and they created a product to help solve other people that go through the same problem I'm going through. Yeah. Um, now the I, f- I must believe you understand what product thinking is, design thinking is, and how product thinking applies in a product, right? So we are going into Web3, product thinking in Web3, but before we go into product thinking in Web3, I think I need to like break down what Web3 is. So just like a metaverse, right? Everyone has a different definition for that, right? Virtual world, interconnection, between two worlds and all those things, right? It just complicates the entire thing. It's a new space, right? And I feel people should focus more on building use cases instead of defining things and, oh, I define it this way, right? So there's a shorter definition of what Web3 is. I found it on something I was watching. So Web3 is the stack of protocols that enable fully decentralized applications. So this technology powers dApps, decentralized applications, right? That's it. And what are decentralized applications, right? So, you know, I don't know, for people that are in blockchain, you design a product and it's called dApp, and you're like, what is dApp? Or like, what's the difference between a normal application and a decentralized application, right? Because they feel the same way, they look the same way, I interact with it the same way. Like, why is it called a dApp and why is it not called an application like an app? So it's in the architecture, right? So I believe most designers, I believe with the way technology is going and the way the industry is going, designers are required to understand engineering, right? Learn, if even though you don't want to learn how to code, you have to understand how things work for you to utilize it, because products, you have the technology, you have the users. That is the major thing. You understand the users, you study the users. You also have to do that to the technology to be able to build usable, sustainable products. So for the Web2 architecture, we all know that most applications are made up of the front end, the back end, and the database, right? So front end interact with front end, back end server side, database, you store your stuff there, right? Data and all those things, right? But the Web3 um, architecture is different from this, in the sense that for the backend, right, it's one entity that actually owns the backend, and also for the database, right? So, and some people use like AWS for the cloud services, right? It's owned by Amazon, right? Centralized, it's just one person. So, um, I don't know if you have ever gone through this phase whereby you're using an application, right? And it just crashes, right? No one is online, like no one can access the application again. If you use Twitter, Instagram, I think it has happened to Instagram before, right? So like in the case of a decentralized application, that cannot happen, right? Because for example, right, I'm using a laptop currently, right? I'm charging it. So if I take out the charger and it dies, right? I can't access it again. But in a decentralized, my battery uh, is in so many laptops. If one dies, the other is powering my laptop. If that one dies, the other one is powering my laptop. So it's like the Avengers of battery, having like it's spread apart across the world, different systems, different distributed systems, right? In the case of Web2, that you just one, and anything can happen to just that one. Yeah. So so this is the main reason for this talk. I'm trying to make it very precise and seamless. So product thinking in Web3 is about identifying problems and developing solutions or ideas around that problem, like connecting it with the user needs, business needs, and utilizing the blockchain technology, right? Um, Initially, this talk was going to be very technical because in Web3, you have to understand the tech to build for the tech, right? Like understand a little more about the tech and even get to do some smart contracts, right? But to succeed in Web3, you really don't need to do all those things, right? You just need to understand how the technology works so you can build for like using that technology, right? And why it exists and why it's here to stay, right? So I'll be identifying different areas in Web3 that people are already building products in. So yeah, there's a lot of areas in Web3, but I decided to touch these five because I feel it has a lot more buzz than others, right? Okay, payments. So in 2015, I got to learn about blockchain, and then people were still investing in Bitcoin, right? It was still a thing, investing in Bitcoin or a cash out from Bitcoin, right? And also I met this person, Timmy God, Bitcoin, started Bitcoins after 2 years, right? So in terms of crypto, then crypto was mostly used by traders, right? Buy, exchange, sell, get some money out of the sell, basically, because you add more profit and you get the profit out of the sell, right? And while doing all those things, there was no way to use your crypto for, like, you couldn't use your currencies for anything besides just buying and selling, right? So in this case, the people that were thinking about ideas were the devs and the product managers, not the designers, right? You know, designers are designed to study users and solve their problems, right? But in this case, it was the devs that were thinking about the ideas, and I guess that's why they say the UX in Web3 still needs some work, you know. So for payments, after you have done your trading and gained some profits, right? What do you use that crypto to do, right? And the first step to creating an economy is buying and selling, right? So how do you sell, gain crypto, go to the market, yeah, and buy I don't know what you guys like, ice cream with your crypto, right? Like how does that flow work? Like why isn't that possible, right? So here's the thing, right? Because currently in Web2, there's something we suffer from in terms of payment, and that's inflation. I understand that Naira was 710 at some point, right? And now it's 680, right? The high rise, low rise. So I have a friend that just bought an iPhone and she had to pay extra because of the rise, right? It's like very volatile also. But in terms of crypto, there's some functionalities in crypto that allow you spend at the normal rate, and that was why they invented the stable coin. So nothing affects you. You buy and sell, and you don't lose money, and you even gain more for actually using crypto to pay for things. Uh, a company that's doing amazing other space is LaserPay. So I'm bringing it back to um, Nigeria. So LaserPay allows you pay for goods in crypto and allows the people selling accept crypto also. And there's some incentive in using this platform, right? So if you use this platform, you get certain percentages, or you get tokens, or you get NFTs, maybe, right? And this is also trying to like speed up the adoption of crypto. Uh, so would you, or how might we, how would you think about product ideas in this space, right? So like you identify the problems in payments currently. Why is it hard for me to pay for my Netflix? Why is it hard for me to subscribe to all these things that are helping me gain better experiences, right? And you find a way, if crypto can solve that problem, like it can't solve, like it's not meant to solve all the problems, right? But it can solve a few problems. The next space is the DeFi space. This is a very popular space. I think this is a very popular space, and a lot of people here they don't take they don't take nonsense, because it has to do with a lot of money, right? It's like it's a financial system, and what are financial systems? So they're like your banks, right? So it's like having your bank, you controlling your banking yourself, instead of Access Bank or GT Bank or Central Bank controlling that banking for you, right? So in the normal banking system, you can lend, you can trade, you can invest, you can get paid through your bank account. You can do insurance also, right? But in this case, it's controlled by one entity, and they get to make all the rules, right? So if your bank account is on freeze, right, you really can't do anything, right? If you're sending out a lot of money and they flag you, you can't do anything, right? If you're sorry. So if you're investing, everything is controlled by one entity, right? And that's a problem, because they get to use um, like the data and a lot of information, maybe not against the customers, but to their benefits, right? So DeFi's are yet to like redefine that and create a level playing ground, right? And DeFi products are very modular, like in the sense that you can add different functionalities, like if you are trying to change dollar to naira, right? That process, how does it flow? In terms of DeFi, it's called like swapping system, whereby you go on a platform, swap your ETH with your let's say SK sidekick token, right? And you transact. And also, if you are trying to invest, yeah, it's staking, which you get to stake also, right? So the benefits of using a DeFi platform, and you, you get like some tokens for using the platform, because all these areas are trying to drive more adoption in terms of blockchain. And I just learned that it's about 11% of the people in Africa that actually own a bank account, that I don't know maths, but like 89% are unbanked, right? And it's due to discrimination, and some countries don't allow women own bank accounts, like how they didn't allow women drive, you know. So the blockchain is actually here to solve that problem, right? And creating like a decentralized flow whereby the government can't make any rules, right? They can't stop you from doing anything. So um, there are lots of problems in the CFI sector, the banking sector, right? And that's why we have some fintechs existing currently. You have your Paystack, Piggyvest, Carrywise, right? Because they are all trying to solve some banking errors, right? Some banking experience, you know. So thinking about products in this case is thinking about designing an experience where no one makes the rules in terms of banking. And someone that is killing it in this area is Pancake Swap. So Pancake Swap allows you swap tokens, and you earn the Pancake token, right? Which you can also swap and or take out of the system and put it in another system and utilize. I really hope everyone is understanding what I'm saying. Let me check what's happening in the chat. Okay, nothing much. Okay, let me continue. Everyone is quiet. Okay, next up is Web3. So the entire talk is about Web3, but in this case, okay, give me a minute. It's entering small. Am I too fast? Yeah. No, I'm not too fast. Okay, everyone is understanding. Okay, I will still go through it, and everyone can ask questions. Yeah. So Web3, this started. This is a very funny space because when Web3 became the buzzword, everyone started thinking about what will a decentralized YouTube be like? What will a decentralized Twitter be like? Like thinking about all these Web2 products existing and trying to decentralize them. Right. So I understand everyone, we were all alive when Twitter was on lockdown, right? And no one could access Twitter, and most of us were using VPNs, right? That can happen because it's owned by an entity, like one centralized, one company, right? And they can sanction them. They can lose their license in different countries, right? And imagine if we don't have Twitter again, I'm going to run mad, you know. So how do we prepare for this kind of thing, right? So in Web3, it's about decentralizing the internet, right? Spreading like spreading out the ownership or the management within a different system, so it can't affect like users using the platform. It can't affect anything. Like you can't block me from using your platform. So someone that is killing it in this space is LivePair. So LivePair is like Twitch. Um, Twitch is a platform for video game streaming, right? If you are trying to stream your game, then Twitch is a nice platform. So for LivePair, it's an infrastructure whereby people build um, certain dApps on the platform, or you use like APIs on your own platform to stream videos. So for LivePair, when you use the system, you gain token. Like it's like Web3 has this incentive culture, um, because they are trying to also educate everyone about Web3 because it's a new field, right? And while you are learning and practicing, you are earning also, right? And that's it. In this case, there are different problems if we are looking at Web2, like in the social media, the identity, the data problem, selling the data, selling your identity, like after interacting with, let's say, searching for something on Google, right? You start to see things related on your IG or your Twitter, right? If you want to buy like a phone, you start to see your phone, the phone that you want to buy across all the applications you go to, and you're wondering, like, are they watching me? Right? There's that, lots of security issues, right? So Web3 as a solution for that problem space. Uh, Next one is block. I didn't spell blockchain gaming well. Anyways, I'll change that. Next up is blockchain gaming. Give me a minute, please. So blockchain gaming is yeah. So an example is this Fortnite, right? Okay, I don't know if everyone plays Fortnite, but something everyone understands is Grand Theft Auto, GTA 4, Michael Versetti, is that his name? Yeah. And all those games, right? You enter the game, you play some missions, you win some money, right? Or you win items like new shoes, um, you win cards, you win cars, you even win in-game currencies, right? That you can buy houses, buy lands, and you can even sell your lands and everything for more money, right? So in this case, the Web2 infrastructure allows you to do all those things in the game and only in the game, right? And it's like you have like two lives: outside, like the physical life, and you have your digital gaming avatar that interacts with like digital like things, right? So in Web3 or in GameFi, um, GameFi makes everything real. So in this case, everything you win in GameFi is valuable in the game and outside the game, right? And after finishing, let's say, a task, you get like a badge, right? But in this case, it can be an NFT of ownership that, oh, you are the best shooter in this game, right? And you can take that NFT card of best shooter and take it to another platform and sell it to someone that I'm the best NFT guy. If you want to if you want to be the best shooter, buy my stuff and be the best shooter. Sounds so chaotic. But blockchain gaming is creating games utilizing the blockchain technology, right? So everything is real. You win NFTs, you win tokens, and your money is also valuable in the game and outside game. And you can also take every asset you win in a game to another GameFi game. So it's not like, oh, it's just one, right? They're like functionalities created that can allow you swap your token in one game with the token in another game, right? And in GameFi, there's some DeFi features in GameFi, right? Because GameFi is also trying to create an economy, right? An economy in the game, right? So there's some staking, there's some reservoir, there's liquidity pool, right, in the game. So if you are trying to like live in the game, you can actually live and earn and make a living while playing games. That's the idea about blockchain gaming. And one of the popular products in this space is these guys, Axie Infinity. So they blew up around maybe 2020 or 2019. It should be 2020. So they allow you you win virtual lands, right? And you can sell the virtual lands also. Like, and while you're playing the game, you win tokens for playing the game. And it's an online game whereby your friends can also come in and play with you, and you guys win together, and that's it. Okay, this is the last one. Identity or wallets. So you know, in terms of physical identity, like we have certain things that make up our identity, right? So we have our names. My name is John. You have like, where do you come from, right? Oh, where's your dad from? Where's your mom from? You know, you have like, where do you live? Where do you school and all those things? Like, all those things make up your identity, right? Because yeah, they make up your identity. But in terms of digital identity, um, we how do all these applications we use identify who is who, right? So Gmail was created for us to like store our mails and also create an identity for us that you can sign in into any application and they would verify that, okay, this is this person, right? Also, Facebook um, was created to um, give us that social identity, and in the stretch, they bought Instagram also to solidify that. Right, so we all have identities on the web. Our fingerprints are on the web, so everyone should be scared. But the problem with identity in terms of Web2 is that your identity, there's no form of security, right? Someone can take your identity, right? And you probably can't do anything about it. They can sell your data, right? You probably also cannot do anything about it, right? I know most people, like, I didn't even know what selling my data was until recently. You know, like, oh, they should sell my data. I don't mind. You know, but like, it's a problem, right? It's a breach. But in this case, Web3 um, adds this layer of anonymity, right? Whereby you are given an ID if you create like let's say your first opening into Web3 is actually opening a wallet, a crypto wallet, right? And when you're opening a crypto wallet, you are given sets of numbers and alphabets, right? Like as your ID. So this is what you will use if someone is trying to chat with you, if someone is trying to send money, if you're trying to log in into other platforms, right? And no one's name is started from OX, right? So this creates this anonymity and is more secure than having my entire name, right, on the web, right? And being that Web3 is very transparent, so you can see every transaction going in and out, right? And I don't think most people will want everyone to know that, oh, John sent $1 million to this address, unnecessary. So wallets are also used to store your spoils after any battle, like eh, store your NFTs, store your tokens, store your cryptocurrencies, right? And it's like Dora, like backpack. So you can take all these things into any DApp and be able to transact or to use that product. And if you can't, you can always swap all the currencies you have in your wallet with the currency in the other application that uses another wallet. And yeah, that's it. So the problem in this identity space is mostly about privacy, right? And Web3 has a way to solve that. So Web3 is still is still growing. So there's a lot of problems, right? And this is why product designers in Web2 should start looking at Web3. And because the people leading Web3 in terms of ideas and in terms of usability are the devs, right? And newly product managers, right? But product designers are designed for these kind of things. Yeah. So someone leading in this space is Rainbow. Uh, Rainbow created an entire kit. They're amazing. Like they created an entire kit that help you go from Web 2 to Web 3 and understanding everything that you're doing. So you can um, create your own identity and also set up your wallet seamlessly and also integrate this on other platforms. I don't know what the time is. Okay, 50, I spent 50 minutes. So yeah, that's all for today. I didn't go much, I didn't go deep into each of these stacks because, as I said, it can become technical very fast. But you can start thinking about ideas and problem spaces, and that's an easy way to start designing for Web3, like solving problems in Web3. And how can you solve problems in Web3? Understanding the technology and understanding the problem space, right? And thinking about ideas, utilizing product thinking as well as design thinking before you now start thinking about or creating a demo or an MVP or how does a smart contract work. right? So this, I can say this is like a layer one, then the layer two now breaks it down to, oh, how does this smart contract work? Like, how does certain things work? So after you have identified all those things, then there's layer three. It gets very interesting fast, but I feel this is what you need to be able to understand the space, the problem space, and to start speaking the language of Web3, because to succeed in, like, let's say, a new country, you need to learn the language, right? So that's it. Before we start asking questions, um, the main reason for this talk, I'm going to sound very nerdy. Anyways, someone said that I should host a talk about how to make pancakes. So I did something funny. So this is the next slide. Hope she's here. So I made pancakes the other day, and this might be my next talk. All right. Thank you so much, guys. So yeah, questions. Yeah. All right. Other questions? Can't wait for the pancake talk. Can you? Can you? Okay, let me start from the top. Can Can you please brief about Web3 layers? What do you mean Web3 layers? You can speak.
Good evening.
I
I'm quite okay. I would say I'm intermediate somewhat in the Web3 space. But I'm quite confused about the layers like layer one, layer two of blockchain and building upon it. So I don't know if you can just brief on it, on the layers like the layer one, two, three.
so are you talking about the technical layers, or what I just spoke about?
Yes, yes,
What I just spoke about?
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. Because okay. So just for everyone, there are actually layers to blockchain, like the technical layers. So you have your layer one, and that's like the blockchain. You have your ecosystems like Ethereum, Solana, um, Aurora, and all those things. Then there's layer two, right? You have your Polygon and all those things. But in terms of what I'm talking about, it's just me. I came up with it. So in terms of design, layer one is actually understanding the problem space and understanding, getting a sneak peek of the technology, right? So problem space is like, I'm listening to music, right? I don't know who sang this song. How can I know who sang this song? Oh, let me create a product that can listen to this song and search on all the libraries in the world to find who sang this song, right? That's the product thinking, right? So it's um, indexes every song in the world, like the song library, right? And okay, so Shazam works in this way, right? It's a fingerprint system, right? So it's it converts every song in the world into like a fingerprint, right? And when it's listening to a song on the radio anywhere, it converts that sound wave into a fingerprint, and it matches the fingerprint with the fingerprint in the library. So when it doesn't match, then they send like a text that, oh, we can't find this song, I'm sorry, right? But when it matches, then there's that, right? So you understand the problem space, and that was there are problems in the Web3 space. And I talked about payments, right? What is payments? Ability for someone to buy and sell stuff, goods and services, right? So how do you do payment normally, right? So you go to the market to exchange your money for the goods. Yeah. How do you do international payments, right? That is still a problem that you are yet to solve in the centralized world, right? But in terms of crypto, you can always send money to anyone and anywhere in crypto, right? And I understand that, oh, it's volatile, but there was something created basically to somehow solve the volatility, and that's like the stable coins that we have currently, right? So understanding that space, then identifying problems like what are people struggling with in this space, and thinking in terms of products. How can I solve this for the users and for maybe it's your business, for myself? And how can I utilize the technology? And I also talked about other areas like DeFi, like investment platforms, right? That don't get tampered with by a central entity. Yeah. So by layer one, I mean understanding the space, identifying problems, needs, and actually thinking about ideas or products to solve that area. Then layer two is actually going deeper and understanding the technology in depth. So because we have the smart contracts, right? I didn't talk about smart contract today because I feel it might be too complex. So that can be like, okay, how does this application work? Why does it, or what happens in the back end, right? Because um, I know we focus more on user needs and everything, but to create a sustainable product, you also have to understand how the product works, right? And that's where layer two comes in. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yes, you did.
Okay, thanks. Sheena, oh, sorry if I cannot pronounce your name, but you can speak.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Good. Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Please, for a product designer that wants to transition from Web 2 space into Web 3, can you recommend the best platform to go through?
Okay. While I was doing my research, I saw some guy talk about how to be a Web3 product designer. So I think it's pretty cool because I've seen it. This is the second time I'm seeing it, and I think that's a sign. So I would share the link, and I'll also talk about how to get into that. Just give me a minute.
Oh, wait.
Okay, yeah. How do I send this to this? I'm just joining here. Okay, so while I'm doing this, let me just talk about I guess I should start from my experience then to uh, how I have been able to understand it since I'm already in this space. So my experience is this. I I was doing AR VR, creating AR VR applications and experiences. Then I got a job in blockchain with nothing. you know. So yeah, it's first thing I noticed that it had a different language. I just shared the link there. Everyone can check it out. And Mirror is a decentralized medium. So you can also study the mirror.xyz. Yeah. First thing I noticed is that it's fully financial, or maybe that was the product I was working on. But the first product I was working on allows you to buy virtual lands, right? And get a token of ownership in form of NFT, right? And you can sell that ownership to other people. You can do anything on your land, right? So uh, I was just thrown into like the den. So I had to figure it out. And first thing I started with is learning the language. So I'm not talking about learning programming, right? I'm talking about learning how to speak blockchain, right? The words like what is DeFi, uh, what is, like I said earlier time, staking, liquidity pool, yield, and all those stuff, right? So understanding the language, because if you have ever tried to apply for a Web3 job as a designer, they ask you, you know, like a list of things. Like, I don't know if you've tried, but like if you go to cryptojobs.com and you click on apply to any company, after you have added your portfolio resume, they ask you, oh, do you know these things, right? Because you'll be talking about them every day, basically, if you're in Web3, right? So you need to learn the language. How can you learn the language? Um, Binance has a blog whereby they crack down different areas in blockchain, right? Some blockchain companies have blogs that you can read through. Binance, Coinbase, those are like the popular ones. Rainbow, those are like popular ones. Then you could also use like some YouTube videos, right? Or take this in mirror course. So after you understand the language, you need to start identifying problems in that space. Problems in that space, then thinking about products with blockchain at the back of your mind, because it's being powered by a decentralized backend. So start thinking about products. So if you already know how to design products in Web2, then it's not much difference. Designing it in Web3 is just a different technology and a different language. But if you don't know how to design products in Web2, then that's a problem, because you can always learn how to design products utilizing your UX and UI and your product thinking strategy and all those things. So how to get started is learn the language, identify problems, and design products. Then sign up for hackathons. Hackathons are a great way. Is a great way to learn, meet people, and earn. So I've done about like 3 hackathons or 4 hackathons. I won just one, but it was like a great experience, right? So, and it allows you design products, and you can add it to your portfolio, basically, right? And that's it. But in terms of like Web3, no one is looking for much, right? Because it's a new space. So most companies are looking for, can you design products? Can you learn? Do you know the language, right? And are your products competitive? Because in terms of Web3, a design is like very is at the center, because it's sets you apart from different products, right? And I understand that like the early Web3 trend had this whole gradient feel, brutalist typography, loud, and all those stuff, right? And I almost got scammed because like someone designed exactly that for a system, great gradients, brutally styled, everything. So it made sense that, oh, fuck, this was Web3, or this is Web3, right? So it's much more than that, right? And it's just this, if you can design products in Web2, you can design products in Web3. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. That
Yeah.
was helpful.
Yeah, well, all right. Fuck. Okay, next. Anyone ask questions again? Is it too technical? Was it too technical? You can ask me any question if you want to ask him. It was technically too. Oh, okay. I can talk about it in a simpler way. So if you have any question about Web3, please ask me about any question whatsoever. Any how if it's about this session, it's fine. If it's not about this session, it's also fine. If you are wondering how what Web3 is or how to design Web3, just ask me questions. Okay, you can go. Yeah, you can. Any one of you can go. Yeah, anyone is fine.
Yeah, I think Blessed should go,
Okay.
and then we can have the other persons.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I just wanted to ask, Web3, won't like the Web3 is basically I don't know how to put the question. And a disadvantage for Web3 won't it be like because it is very decentralized. So would it not be like easy for people to like scam other people? Like
Yep.
you I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Again.
Now you can't really trace, you don't have people's information, you can't trace, especially with blockchain network, you might not be able to trace like unlike if someone's coming with a Facebook account, for instance, now as we have Facebook now, I might be able to trace the person and find who the person is or something. But with Web3, wouldn't it be like a lot more easier to be scammed?
Okay. So it's very hard to find your scammer though in Facebook on Facebook, but a characteristic of Web3 is transparency. So every money that goes in and out is visible to everyone. It's open source, right? So if you send money to your friends, everyone can see that you have sent that money, but they can't see the name. They can't see your name. That oh, let's just send this money. They can see your address. So everything is tracked because you know about I don't know if I read about people losing their money or something, right? In most cases, they gain their money back because um, you can see the account it was tracked to, it was diverted to, and you can, I guess, file something. I don't know, like in law or something. I don't know about law, but like you can see every transaction going in and out of blockchain. Like it's very transparent, right? And that's why DeFi is blowing up because the normal banking and everything is not transparent, right? You don't know what the money is going for, But in crypto, everything is transparent. Everyone can see everything, right? It's just that they can't identify. Yeah. How was that? Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that. I think I don't know if I should say you answered my question, or maybe I'm not satisfied. But you mentioned at the end, like, everything is seen, but you can't identify, and that's exactly what I'm asking. Since you can't identify, wouldn't that be like a disadvantage or a setback, or is there a way that can be fixed?
It's setback in what case?
Like, what I mean is, like, for Web3, like that, wouldn't that be like something like people can leverage on, like,
Uh,
uh, ulterior motives? Maybe you want to scam or something. No, I can't identify, or maybe you can't identify. Or you said, since it's open to everyone, maybe a lawsuit can be filed and all that. So that's understandable. That's just my question, anyways.
yeah. So also there's some contracts that can identify everything you have in your wallet. So like the fact that it's very open is actually very open. That some some platforms can identify, oh, you have 5,000 bitcoins in your wallet, all those kind of things, right? And this can bring lots of questions also. So I know that there's still a lot of problem, because even the most designed things, people can still use ulterior motives, right? And yeah, I'll just say that it's still in its early stage, right? So if anyone does anything bad, right, it will be solved like moving forward, because it's still very early. So if you do bad, it's good for the designers, I guess. I hope I answered. We can talk more maybe anytime.
Yeah. You answered. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next one is Anita.
Yeah, good evening.
I
Um, all right. So I have 3 points I would like to touch briefly. Um, Number one, I would like to give a response to Blazed. Then number two, I would want to ask you during your learning curve, if you were to start again right now, what would you have done differently to provide a bit much more ease to your learning curve from Web 2 to Web 3? Then number three, I would want to ask, what do you think is the biggest problem for Web 3 adoption in Africa? So going back to the issue of Blazed, there is this wave recently with Web3 platform, especially exchanges, whereby they are actually required to have KYC for their customers. For example, Binance recently published an article talking about how they lost a huge percentage of their customers because of the KYC of the thing. So when transactions actually happens like that, there is this thing about FBI investigation, whereby they say whenever something's happen, you follow the money. So when things happens like that, whenever someone gets scammed and everything, no matter how the backdoor is, whereby okay, you send the money to or a crypto to a certain cold storage, there is going to be a time whereby it's going to be coming down to the exchanges, whereby you need to exchange P2P and the rest of the stores like that. Even if it might not be the scammer actually, it might be someone the scammer actually paid. So if the scammer paid someone for something, the person that was paid for something could actually be apprehended and interviewed, that person could actually identify the scammer on the long run. So that'll be that about that. So I would like you to like answer the two other questions I actually asked. What you would do differently and the biggest problem adoption for Africa.
Okay. What I do differently? That's a very hard question. I'll learn how to code. I'll learn Rust or Solidity. Then I would not code but design after learning everything. But I don't think I'll do anything different. I just feel I'll spend more time learning about the space, because I knew nothing about the space when I jumped in, because my initial exposure to the space was in terms of trading, right? And I was living in the trenches. I had no money for trading crypto, so I wasn't interested because I thought you needed money to actually utilize the technology, right? So I didn't care about it, right? Until I got to start designing blockchain products, right? So first things first, I don't know what new stuff I'll learn, because I do product design normally, right? I've been able to spend lots of years refining that craft, right? So it was not very hard for me to move into Web3, because I know it's just a different language, just a different technology. So I knew I needed to learn the technology, right? I needed to see what's existing currently, right, in that space, and how people are using that technology, and also what the problems are in that space, right? I don't think I would. I don't know. I don't think I would do anything differently, because I'm still early. I'm just 6 months, so I don't know if I made a problem. I don't know if I made a mistake yet. So I don't
All right,
know.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, moving to the other question, please.
Adoption language. Language. Um, Volatile. It's very volatile, and education as one, and people would rather um, base or put the money or assets to what has been existing for a long time than a new technology that breaks every month or every year, right? So there needs to be some education first of like um, um, carrying all these people in slowly into Web3 and telling them why it exists and what it helps you to do, right? Because in terms of adoption, people are looking at how can this help me? How can this make my life better, right? And you have to educate them from that part, right? And also scalability. Uh, dApps make it harder for new users to join, right? Because it's totally different from Web2 that, oh, I just signed in on Twitter, I know what to do. Sign in on my Gmail, start tweeting, first thing, oh, what are your thoughts today? You tweet about it. But in terms of dApps, you really don't understand anything that's going on, right? And even though you get into it, you may not understand how to get into it again. So, in terms of adoption, user experience is a problem because it's easier for me to transfer money from my account to another person's account with the centralized system, right? Like it's easier because I understand that process, right? But in terms of crypto, most people don't understand how that works, right? That really affects how people adopt the technology. So that's what I feel.
Alright, that's great. So I'll believe, according to what you said, most of the solutions would actually be based on a better onboarding and UX writing and tooltips on the rise. Right.
Yes, yes.
All right. That's
So
great. Thank you
most,
very much.
you're
Yeah,
welcome.
most of it. Before I go, sorry. Osas, I don't know. I left a message. I don't know if Asa Kotere actually followed the Telegram, these Asa design resources. I left a comment on the last post about this event. So I don't know if you guys follow it about event calendars. If you guys could actually bring that up for next events, probably so that we'll be able to like set reminders and all before time. Because I actually got this late. Thank you very much.
Did you get answers? Probably did. Okay.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, what's the time? I think I'm weak. Wow.
9:24.
Okay, we can stop recording. Where's Osas? I don't know what Osas is, but let me give him a call.
All right.
Yeah. So I just found out that this talk was technical, and that was what I was trying to avoid.
Well, I think at this moment, though, I don't think there is a way one would actually talk about Web3 without getting technical about it. You have to like get technical a little bit before you actually simplify.
Yeah. But like so I wanted everyone to like treat Web3 as a different thing. It's like, oh, fintech, oh, it's like gaming, right? But I feel as technology progresses, we may all need to understand how to read the technology, how to like understand certain things than just designing for users, right? Because in Web3, besides just designing for users, you have to understand the technology and how to use it well. Thank you, John. Oh, thank you so much for joining. Please leave your comments in the chat box and let me see if you guys love this session. It will help my self-esteem.
Yes, John, thank you so much for this amazing session. And I know that we had to fight a lot of technicality, but I think you did a really great job of breaking it down and just building that initial excitement and just curiosity that a lot of us need to get started. So thank you. I think we should also continue the conversation on Twitter, and people can just tag you, message you. I don't know, just do stuff, do stuff there. So yeah.
I want to go and sleep.
Yes, so very, very, very necessary. So I'm just going to end the recording here.
Yeah.
Yes, please. We have a feedback from Abeg, guys. Help us to fill that form. Tell us what the session was like for you. Rate it and let us know what we can do better. And if you're not following our socials, I also send the links to our social media channels in the chat, so you can go there, check our YouTube out as well, because when we upload this video, that's where we're going to send it to, and you want to turn on your notifications there. So please do that. Thank you again. Yeah. So we're officially done.